In this video, let's talk about the mental side of baseball, and I want to give you parents and coaches, especially, some perspective if you haven't played the game in a long time or if you haven't played the game at all. It's really easy to get frustrated with your players when they make little mistakes or physical mistakes compound because of then mental mistakes, or you see bad body language. You see fearful throws after an error, after a throwing error, especially, stuff like that. I want to give you a little perspective on the mental game and just how much shame is involved in being a baseball or softball player. If you don't know, I played pro baseball, so I retired when I was 30. And I got pretty good at dealing with the ups and downs as a pro pitcher. You learn to breathe through difficult situations. You learn to handle the adrenaline. I pitched in front of, I think, 7,000 or 8,000 people in my biggest games. It's a lot, and you learn as you go, and you get a lot better, and you learn tools, all these different ways to cope with, basically just like the ups and downs and the pressure and the shame when you don't perform well. I got a new perspective on this recently. So I started playing slow pitch softball, which that was 7 years after my playing career end. I didn't play any form of baseball or softball. So I just play low level, co-ed, just easy, fun, not super competitive. And I make errors playing shortstop. I make errors playing third base. I make bad throws. And I can tell you that as someone that everyone around me knows that I play at a high level, I still feel like, man, I just let everyone down. It gets in my head that if I make a throwing error as a former pro pitcher, like, how could you make that mistake? Like, everyone expects you to be perfect. If I make one, now I'm like, man, you can't make a second one. Then you're going to look terrible. And if you make a second error, wow, what if I made 3 errors in a row? It's really easy to get in your head, even as someone who spent 20 years of my life developing these coping strategies that worked really well. I played at a high level. And with my teammates who have played at all various levels, some played high school, some never played any competitive softball, baseball, whatever, I see the same things. When they make a throwing error, I see the next throw become more gingerly. I can tell all these little nuances, and I can see it. You can just see the tension build. You can see the discomfort. And I think as parents, especially in this competitive travel softball and baseball space, we lose track and we lose this empathy for our kids. I have gotten just a rejuvenation, a big shot of deeper empathy for these kids that I know I had lost, when it's like, hey, it's not that hard, refocus. We've talked about this, refocus. It is a lot harder than you think. When your kid misses a ground ball in the infield, if they walk a second batter in a row, or God forbid they drop a fly ball as an outfielder, they are going to have a circus going on in their head. And it's not just this, second guessing themselves, all this. It is a deep level of shame. It's a public shame. That's just the best unifying word to describe it. And I would ask you as a parent or a coach, when is the last time you did something publicly that shamed you? Your kids do that every time they take the baseball field or the softball field. I feel it every time I take the softball field, just recreationally. I go away having had a great time, but still I get a little dose of shame in the fourth when I boot a ground ball that I should have fielded. And it's just a lesson that we need to have more compassion. And often we hold young players to a standard that is harder to maintain than even in the big leagues. I feel ground balls on some of these fields that they take random hops as if they hit a landmine. It's hard. It's not as predictable as you watch these pristine, perfect college fields and pro fields. The ball bounces the way you expect it to bounce every time on those fields. Those SEC fields, those pro fields, they're amazing. They make it possible for a major league shortstop to only make 15 errors a year. They're still amazing world-class athletes, but if they played on rec fields, they would make at least double the errors, maybe triple the errors, playing on a high school field where the ball just takes random hops all the time. So I think it's just important, and this is my overarching thing here, is have more compassion for your kids, the kids you coach, the kid that you love, that you send out on that field. It is a hard game. Even for someone like me who's gone to a very high level and come back to a very low level, it's still a hard game to be perfect myself. I often have 2 error games. I pop up. It's just not that easy. So have compassion for your kids. And if you have lost track on just how hard baseball and softball is, hopefully today is just a little reminder. Give your kids a pat on the back, go for ice cream, tell them you're proud of them, and don't expect them to be perfect, because it's a very, very hard game.